Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
A very good evening to you and welcome to your News at 9, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. And you're with me, Joel Outscoon, and I will be reading you the headlines tonight. Starting off with bank robbery in Kovala, 30 million rupees stolen in thefts over the past 2 weeks. An alternative program to replace the fisherman's fuel subsidy from March. Mangala Samravira informs court that he is dropping charges against a youth from Ratmalana who allegedly broke into his house and stole several items. And in sports headlines, protest against the president of Sri Lanka Badminton Association. Let's now cross over to Stephanie Lazarus and Shane Silva, who has a comprehensive bulletin ahead of you. Over to you.
Thank you, Joel. A very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Let's start off with tonight's top story. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona says that there have been thefts reported from various locations over the past 2 weeks where robbers have made off with a total of close to 30 million rupees. The most recent incident was reported this morning from Kohala. A sum of 1.5 million rupees had been stolen from the branch of a private bank in Kohala.
The robbery had taken place at about 10:20 this morning at a private bank in Kohala, located at the junction at the turnoff to Balapokuna Road. The robbers had threatened bank employees with firearms. The theft had been carried out by 2 masked men who had made off with the money at the transaction counter. The thieves had also stolen a gold chain from a bank employee and 55,000 rupees in cash from a customer.
3
police teams have been deployed to conduct investigations. This is the 5th such robbery that has been reported in the recent past, and we are conducting inquiries into the motorcycles that they have employed and their mode of operation. Several such incidents of theft where the thieves had employed motorcycles had been reported in the recent past. On the night of the 13th of this month, thieves who entered a shop in the Dehiwala town had threatened employees there and had made off with 300,000 rupees in cash. On the 14th, 2 thieves broke into a pawning centre in Padukka and had stolen cash and jewellery worth about 20 million rupees. On the 17th, thieves broke into a jewellery store in Nigambo and made off with about 15 million rupees in cash. The very next day, a wholesale and retail store in Madampe was also robbed. On the 20th, thieves entered a private bank in Matugama in the afternoon and made off with 900,000 rupees in cash. It is notable that in all these instances, the thieves were wearing full-face masks and were travelling on motorcycles.
The full-face helmet
We tried to implement the law on full-face helmets on several occasions, but we were not able to do so. Various views were expressed on this, but even today, this law exists in our legal system. This is being misused. While the people may receive benefits from full-faced helmets, there is a section that is misusing this.
Meanwhile, a group of councillors of the Nigambo Municipal Council commented today on UNP Western Provincial Council candidate Royce Fernando, who is a suspect in the theft in Nigambo.
Police madhya prakasatuma කරන ලද ඇතම් ප්‍රකාශ අපිට
We find some of the statements made by the police media spokesperson problematic. He says that Royce Vijitha Fernando has been involved in several thefts in areas like Katunayaka and Vennapua, but they do not have documented evidence. The fact that he has made such a statement without documented evidence is a serious problem for us. There have been such allegations against him in the past, but he has been acquitted of these charges. If he is wrong, then there is nothing wrong with him being punished by the law. But until he is found guilty by the law, he is only a suspect. Contradicting views are being expressed. Therefore, it is clear to us that there are attempts to frame him.
අපිට අනාවරණය වෙලා තිබුණා මොහු මේක සැලසුම් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා.
It was clearly revealed to us that he had planned this. We will unveil all information pertaining to this plan in the near future. Since this is a matter pending in court and since there are more suspects to be arrested, it is difficult to reveal this information. There are connections to incidents that occurred in 1991, 93 and 2012. He may have been acquitted in these cases, but just because he has been acquitted in the past, people cannot challenge his being arrested now. If he was arrested by the police for no fault of his own, he could file a fundamental rights petition. But at no instance has he filed a fundamental rights petition.
මූලික අයිතිවාසිකම් නඩුවක් ගන්න. නමුත් කිසිම අවස්ථාවක මූලික
On this first tonight, the Ministry of Fisheries says that an alternative program is to be introduced to replace the fishermen's fuel subsidy. Ministry Secretary Dr. D.M.R.B. Disanayake says that the fuel subsidy program has been halted at present, and the Secretary made this revelation at the 7th edition of the Newsfirst Gammadda program in Kuttiduwa, Negombo yesterday.
The government was facing practical difficulties with continuing this program. Thereby, our ministry proposed an alternate program. We must note that it has been stopped at present, but we have introduced an alternate program. The alternative program involves a grant of 375,000 rupees for multi-day trawlers and a lower sum for the next class of boats. The government will provide some relief for you to develop your industry. Yes, by the first week or two of March, we will commence distribution under this program in Kalmune, Batiklo and Trincomalee. Subsequently, we will commence the program in other districts. This is not cash relief. You must understand this. The owner of the boat will receive some relief to purchase the engine necessary for the boat and to purchase the necessary equipment.
The Gammadda program held at the Kuttiduwa Fisheries village will be telecast on our sister channel Sirsa TV.
Egypt's interim Prime Minister Hazem Beblawi has unexpectedly announced the resignation of his government. Beblawi said on Egyptian TV that the decision was taken, quote, in light of the current situation the country is going through, unquote. It comes amid a series of strikes, including one by public sector workers and rubbish collectors, and an acute shortage of cooking gas. Beblawi was appointed in July after the military overthrew President Mohamed Morsi following mass protests.
بتقديم استقالته للسيد رئيس الجمهورية.
Today the cabinet took the decision to submit its resignation to the President of the Republic. It is only fair to the cabinet, myself and the people that I not only deliver this message to the President but speak to the people and to you. Over the past 6 or 7 months, the cabinet has been bearing a grave responsibility and fulfilled its work with absolute sensitivity, responsibility and commitment. The government made every effort to get Egypt out of the narrow tunnel in terms of security, economic pressures and political confusion.
Renovation work on the new Lakshapana and Canyon power stations is currently underway. The Ceylon Electricity Board says it will take several months to recommence operations at these two power stations.
On the 100th birthday of Vimala Sundara, the 14th of September 1974, the new Lakshapana power station generated its first unit of electricity for the national grid. Water from the Canyon reservoir, which flows through the Lakshapana tunnel, arrives at the new Lakshapana power station via this pipe. Electricity generation at the new Lakshapana power station was halted owing to maintenance work here. A Newsfirst crew visited the Lakshapana power station complex to make inquiries. Engineers at the power station noted that this is the first time renovation has been undertaken since 1974. The chief engineer of the Lakshapana complex noted that while renovation was being undertaken at a cost of 6 billion rupees, that all the machinery at the power plant is being replenished.
This is the interior of the new Lakshapana power station. It comprises of 4 generators. Renovation work has been undertaken here after a lapse of 40 years. They are currently working on the final generator. Work on the other 3 generators has already been completed.
The basic equipment for the power station was provided by European nations, including France.
Usually, every machine is in operation for over 8,000 hours a year. As a result, we have a capacity of about 500 gigawatts per hour being generated from here annually. New technology is being used for the renovation. When it is concluded, the power station, which is at 100 megawatts at present, will increase its output to 116 megawatts. Subsequently, we have to operate the power station for another 30 years.
The chief engineer of the Lakshapana complex added that while operations at the power station were halted on the 14th of January, they expect to be operational again by the 1st of July.
This power station is owned completely by the electricity board. The electricity board owns 5 reservoirs. While they are used to generate electricity, these reservoirs are also used to supply water to Colombo. At present, we are using this to supply water to Colombo. We also take steps to protect the jungles as well. That is the most important thing. If not, we may not have water to drink in the future.
While renovation on one of the generators at the Canyon power plant has been completed, work on the second generator commenced on the 20th of January. It is expected that work will be completed on the 25th of April. The renovation is expected to cost nearly 64 million rupees.
Operation of the generator that was installed in 1983 at the Canyon power plant has been temporarily stopped for maintenance work. Maintenance should have been carried out after 15 years and it is now being undertaken after more than 30 years. At the new Lakshapana power station too, work is being carried out on the other generator. None of these have broken down. We have ceased operations for maintenance work.
Machinery from the Canyon power station was supplied from Japan, while Japanese engineers are consulting on the renovation work, which is taking place after 30 years. Sri Lankan engineers are providing the labour.
On the 12th of June 1969, this road and this town were submerged. More on this tomorrow.
Now, as mentioned in our headlines this evening, attorneys representing parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira informed court today that they are prepared to withdraw the case that had been filed against a youth who allegedly broke into parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira's residence and stole several items. The case was taken up once again today at the Panadura Magistrates Court.
When the youth in question was presented in court on the 13th of January, President's counsel Hemantha Warnakula Surya filed the bail application and said in court that the items the youth is alleged to have stolen were in fact gifts from MP Mangala Samaravira. On the 27th of January, the hearing was postponed to today. The Criminal Investigations Department informed court today that they had taken over further investigations into the matter. Panadura Magistrate Ruchira Valivatta ordered the CID today to conduct a thorough investigation and submit a report to the court.
Today when the case is called, the CID filed a report stating that they have taken over the investigation. They are still probing into matters that are relating to the investigation conducted by the local police. At that stage, it was what is very, very important was the lawyers appearing for Mr. Mangala Samaravira said that they don't want to proceed with this case. They are prepared to withdraw this case. If that was so, I have no objection if the case is withdrawn and the accused is discharged. So it is up to them for them to take the necessary steps and inform the police that they don't want to proceed with this case. If that is so, we will be quite satisfied. The case is withdrawn. The person is discharged.
Minister of Wildlife Vijitha Vijayamuni Soisa expressed his views with regards to the activities carried out by the UNP in Mathura at a public rally held yesterday.
Hasn't Mangala been destroyed? Mangala and Sagala are no longer representing Mathura.
Mangalat naha, Sagalat naha, Mathura ned. Antimata e mulgal dekama khada gatila. Ranit me koi galakpat naha.
These two stones have been destroyed. No one even talks about the UNP in Mathura. The Deputy Minister of Postal Services was also present at the event.
I believe that the Mathura electorate has received the most funds. We have to utilize these funds in a proper manner. We hope to use this in a productive manner. We have to strengthen the President's work. The Mathura electorate and the Mathura district are developing. The Mathura electorate has seen much development. We have much more to do.